Afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is 1 minute to 8. Hopefully, I've surprised you all by being on time or slightly early. Excuse my attire. I've actually been assisting some friends of the show, helping me today remove the satellite dish off the roof. The new one was delivered in 2 days from the US. And it is now residing on the flat roof of my neighbour, who's very kindly said, "Don't worry about it, stick it on there." And I couldn't believe that the person that put it on there and set it up, right? When I'd done the alignment, I swear to God, he didn't use any fun on that. He just pointed it roughly in a direction it needed. He thought it needed to be from taking it off the roof, right? And it was perfectly as aligned. I mean, millimetre perfect. It didn't need any adjustment. I was like, wow. So we switched it all in. The router's up and working again. The satellite dish is working. And whilst I won't give my neighbour a shout out in terms of who and where he is, but I'm very grateful for his assistance in allowing me to put it on his roof, because it's made life a lot easier. And we don't really want it up there. It's just as good there at the moment anyway. And again, all this stuff that we can just ping off and take around into different places. So before I go any further, and we are going to do, I'm going to take you to a particular thing. I want to say thank you to Jason, so I don't forget, my personal assistant. Yes, yeah. My personal assistant, the gnome, is sitting there. He's brought out a list of people, and if there's anyone I've forgotten, it's not intentional. Jason, for sending me. Let me see if I can actually bring this up on the screen, because I'm going to come back to this in a couple of seconds. This particular book, right? So, and people need to know what this is. Let me see if I can set it up as it is. The constitutional documents. Let's see if I can get that squared off. Of the Puritan Revolution, 1625 to 1660, selected and edited by Samuel Wilson Gardner. Funny enough, it mentions another book. And what was quite funny was I've actually got that on my shelf. So I'm looking around, and Janet said, "What are you looking for?" I said, "It references this other book." And off in the back on my bookshelf, I'll put this other book, and it tells you where to go and look for something else, which is basically how you read law. But again, what I'm going to do is go back to my bright camera for a second, because I'm coming back to that. Thank you to the two individuals, one called Lewis, one called, I won't say his name because he don't like me shouting his name out on a show. Very helpful. Without their assistance today, we wouldn't have been up and running with the show again so quickly. And all that was done, clipped out, a pair of sparks. And also to David Prue, who sent this, but he sent it to me for evaluation, right? So there's another little book there, Trial by Jury. It looks different to mine. He wants me to check and have a read through it to see if it's any different to mine. From first look at it, it is no different, but it's the origin of the jury. Just to make sure everyone's got this. Trial by Jury. And it's Sir Patrick Devlin. And again, it is one of Her Majesty's judges in the High Court of Justice, and it's published under the auspices of the Hamlin Trust. And again, it's a nice little book, but it tells you the whole history. And when I read that, I was quite shocked, because there was, like I say, I don't know everything, but also I'm reading through it and I'm thinking, wow, I never knew that women weren't on juries until 1919. And you get all these people in the background saying that Magna Carta is so fantastic, it's where we get juries from. And actually, it isn't. Right? But I'm not going to go into any more on that. And the last shout out, but by no means least, is Anthony. I will say no more at the moment because I'm waiting for some emails to come in. So obviously, we are without a vehicle, a motor vehicle, stuck in the depths of Devon. Not that it matters too much because we're sort of pretty walking about doing stuff around here, and I only really concentrate on what's going on in here. But we was going to have a drive out and go to Bude this week, but that never happened because the car's broke down. So hopefully my car's going to be repaired on Sunday if it's repairable. Hopefully the guy's got all the parts. He's going to try and fix it for me, who is the local mechanic. But Anthony offered me a car and said, like, you can have it. Told me what it is, etc. Said, like, it used to be his sister's, and then his son had it for a little while. Basically, it's there if you want it, and you can have it. And it drives. There's nothing wrong with it, etc. It will get you out of trouble. So that may be an option because it means you're not actually running out and grabbing something because you actually need it. So I might be looking at that. So I'm just going to say I'm grateful to all them people that are assisting us. Before I go on to the next part of the show, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to share because sharing is caring, right? So the other one is I'm glad to see that I inspired someone who is in a similar position to me, or us, I should say, in that if they live in a very confined space and the lady of the house has to go and do the washing in the local laundrette and they have she has a laundry day and she walks the stuff up the laundry and she puts it in there. She does a lot of hand washing in this confined space where they live. And then I got a voice message today and said, like, seeing as what you've said about that, we are going to go and get one of them ones because you've recommended it, right? Well, I've got to tell you something. This morning, Janet has not stopped washing things, right? Some of the white T-shirts I've got, that even though they're washed in these other things, ain't come out like these ones. They've come out like they're brand new again, proper white. You know when you get that Daz effect? I'm not doing an advert for Daz, but you know what I mean. I was wearing a shirt once as a surveyor, and a woman come up to me and said, "Your wife does a fantastic job on your shirts." I said, "I'm single, I do my own shirts." She said, "What do you use?" I went, "Daz." Right. So my mate was standing there laughing because I'm having a conversation with a reasonably elderly lady about doing the washing, right? But I will say this. It has brought some misfortune. I'm laying in bed this morning, right? And all of a sudden I can feel Janet tugging at my underwear, right? And I'm half asleep, right? Don't forget it's hot, so you're sort of semi-naked. I've just got my underwear on, and she's pulling at my pants, right? And I'm like, "Would you behave yourself? You're sex mad, you are. I ain't even woke up." She went, "No, I want to put them in the wash." I was like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's sort of. I think she's sort of. I don't know. Is there a word for that? You get sort of temporary insanity off a washing machine, right? But yeah, that was it. But yeah. So when you get to the position, she come up tonight to give me a little cuddle before the start. And I'm holding on to my jeans and my shirt. Fuck off! Right. It does get like that though, doesn't it?
Yeah. You did put a top on yesterday, and I said, "Get it off."
Yeah, I put top on yesterday. You can get that off. I want to wash it. So anyway, that was it. So that's the that element of it over really. But yeah, the machine is still sitting there, pride of place in the kitchen. I've never seen anyone swap me in my life. But she keeps saying, thank you for buying me that. I said, I didn't buy it for you. I said, it's for us, for this place. And, right, I said, don't forget I'm used to doing my own washing. And it's not like you're not expected to do all the work. No. She said, I love it. I just thought, I want to use it. And I was just sitting there giggling. Do you know what I mean? Just to tell that, man, there's no one out there that needs to know this, but if you ever want to put a smile on a woman's face when she ain't in a washing machine for at least 6 months, you know, get a washing machine that works, pucker, and that one does. So, I am going to I do want to read this out, but before I do, I want to give Andy the Gabby Cabby a shout out for this because he's put something online I think you all need to listen to. He sent it out there. I'm going to put this out there. I want everyone to go to them links and let everyone know exactly what the English think, right? So I'm going to put it out there. And put it out there. It needs retweeting for Andy the Gabby Cabby, but click on the link itself and go for Casey Kroll. Joe Rogan says somebody. Oh, I'll bring it up on the screen. Listen, people, we are making. We need to get these people talking about England again, right? So it's on your screen as we speak. I'm going to bring this up. Hang on, let's see if I can bring this up a bit further. Hopefully. Everyone can. Ain't that working? It should. Hang on. Why ain't it working? It's supposed to be blowing up a bit, but it's not blowing up. Let me see if I can click on that. That's it. For some reason, that's now worked, right? So, Andy the Gabby Cabby, Joe Rogan, I love you, and so will the English exit. Please keep speaking of the root of your own constitution, England, right? So that's why we've got to get this message out. Now, just listen. So Joe Rogan says, listen to this carefully. This is what I've been telling everyone for years and years and years, and people have finally started to listen, right? Now all we've got to do is get restored to understand the difference between unionism and a brotherhood of nations, right? They're two different things. Joe Rogan says someone's trying to destroy England and they're getting away with it. The mass immigration is not an accident, right? But before I do anything else, I'm going to bring this up on the screen so you can all see what he said.
It's like someone's trying to destroy England. It's literally like they've got a concerted effort to destroy England and they're getting away with it.
Yeah. And what happens over there?
It's really crazy. It's really crazy to watch because the mass immigration's not an accident. If I was going to destroy a country, I would do it exactly the way they're doing it. Yeah. I'd take away their freedom, take away their ability to protest, take away their guns, which they did in the 90s, and then you start tightening that noose. Tighter and tighter, add more restrictions, more this, more that.
I mean, we're getting closer.
And just the arresting people. When you arrest 12,000 people for social media posts, you don't just arrest people for social media posts. You change people's ability to post about things because of fear. So they self-censor. So you don't even you're hitting them with like this one guy who complained about. There's a famous video where this fucking idiot in a wig. He's one of them judges and they wear the wigs, the white powdered wigs, and he's sentencing this guy for 20 months for social media posts that are normal, like normal complaints about mass immigration of illegals from other countries that aren't assimilating and that they believe are ruining their society, which there's a real argument for. And that's what online discourse is supposed to be about, like having conversations. Like I'm voicing my concern for the way society is running right now because of what's happening, and no one's doing anything about it, and no one's protecting anybody. It's nuts, man.
Anytime in human history that would be called an invasion.
Yeah.
Called an invasion.
It's like
I'll finish that with that last sentence again.
Someone's trying to destroy England.
Well, so tell me what you all think of that. because I think that's pretty crucial to what's being said and what's going on, right? Hopefully everyone will understand what I'm talking about there, and then hopefully if I can, I will go back to this and show you what this is all about. So this book, The Constitutional Documents of the Puritan Revolution, 1625 to 1660. Now, the Puritan Revolution actually happened over a course of period, right? It was obviously, there were a number, and this is crucial because what I'm about to do is read out, let's come off of that, is read out from this book. I don't think I've ever, in a book, read the original Petition of Right. The Petition of Right, 1628, was co-authored by two people. So Edward Coke, who is a very important scholar of law, Speaker of the House of Commons. He was the head of the Court of Common Plea. He was a common law jurist. He was also involved with equity law. Highly intelligent man, written lots and lots on the history of English law, etc. But there's someone else. Everyone should understand this. I've got volumes here that were kindly given to me by one of our members. Volumes of the Selden Society, of which we are members of the Selden Society. Why is it? What is the Selden Society? Well, the Selden Society is very similar in what we do, which is the English Constitution Society, and it basically goes through all the laws, and it's got many scholars, it's got many individuals, it's got many judges. In fact, the patron is King Charles III, and the vice president is the Lady Chief Justice of the Selden Society. Now, I've brought up Selden Society material and laws in court, right, and said, you know, you can't dismiss this. This is High Court judges because it comes from the Selden Society. The patron is King Charles III, and the vice president is a Lady Chief Justice. This is about real law. This isn't, you know, some invention from people thinking they want to know what the law is. This comes from real law books, including, I may add, the full cases of the Bonham case, right? Dr. Bonham's case of 1610. Why is it important? Yeah, I'm not sure if they're picking that up, but
It's loud.
so it's annoying you. So I've got shoes on, and I touch my shoes together, and it is annoying Janet so much so that she's actually disturbed me as I'm talking to you. All right. So what she's going to get when I finish this show is a telling off, and I'll insist that she makes me another coffee at the end of it, just for that fact. Not really. Thank you, darling. It's probably better if I don't wear them. Just to let you know, Janet is not the only person that gets annoyed of me moving my shoes together and squeaking. I was actually at Hustings in Runcorn and Helsby, and I was sat next to a lady called Sarah Pouchin. And when the different speakers was getting up and talking for 1 minute at a time, because that's all they gave you, she was nudging me like that, Sarah Pouchin. I said, "What?" Right? I thought she wanted my phone number or something. She went, right. Oh, what? She went, "They're squeaking." Oh, right. So it annoys Janet like it did her. Right. So anyway, never mind. Janet has just advised me. So I'm now going to come. Now, there's some things. Remember the last show I did? I was from the pub when the car broke down, I think it was. But the most important thing is there's lots of things happening in the US. Jason has sent me another 2 videos. And when I say things are being put in place, they are being put in place, right? It may not look like it, But if you start thinking strategically and constitutionally, and that's the Supreme Court of America, there are some very positive things happening. People in America have started talking about England, right? Not the British, the English and England, and they understand it is England under attack, right? But what I want to do now is show you, in particular, the Petition of Right in full. So here we go. Let me see if I can bring that up on the screen again. There is the book, right? So everyone knows exactly what I'm. And what I'm going to do is a readout. I want this video saved by as many people as possible, because it is important that people understand this, right? So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is go to the constitutional documents, and we're going to go to the Commons Declaration, impeachment against the Duke of Buckingham. Hopefully I can find it for you, part 1. Where did we go? Protestation of the Commons, which I haven't read that part yet. Now I've got to get back to where I was. I think it was here. Oh. Constitutional Petition of Right. Right, so I went too far there, but never mind. Right, so what I may have to make adjustments to the camera as I read this out. Right, it's important that you understand and listen, hopefully as much as you can, to the language that I'm going to. Or it's going to be using. Let me see if I can pull this up the other way and get that all angled properly. Right, before I get into this, let's see if I can bring that over. Everyone sees exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, again, this is at page 66, Constitutional Documents, 1628, the Petition of Right. June 7th, 1628, 3.1, statutes to the realm, and it tells you where you can go and find it in other places. The petition exhibited to His Majesty by the Lords Spiritual and Temporal and Commons in this present Parliament assembled, concerning divers rights and liberties of the subjects, with the King's Majesty royal answer thereunto in full Parliament. The King's most excellent Majesty humbly shows unto our sovereign. Let me see if I can get that bang on. Is there something I can put underneath that? Let's see if I can put this back bit underneath it. I don't want to lift it up too clever. Right. Humbly show unto our sovereign Lord the King, the Lords Spiritual and Temporal and Commons in Parliament assembled, whereas it is declared and enacted by statute made in the time of the reign King Edward I, commonly called Statutum de Tallegro non concendo, that no tallage or aid shall be laid or levied by the King or his heirs in this realm without the goodwill and assent of the archbishops, bishops, earls, barons, knights, burgesses, and other free men of the commonalty of this realm. And by authority of Parliament holden in the 5 and 20th year of the reign of King Edward III, it is declared and enacted that from thenceforth no person shall be compelled to make against reason and the franchise of the land, and by laws of this realm it is provided that none should be charged by any charge or imposition called a benevolence, or by such like charge, by which the statutes before mentioned and other the good laws and statutes of this realm your subjects have. And again, what I'm going to try and do is bring this straight over to this page. Right, so Petition of Right, again, inherited this freedom. Now, I'm going to try not to stop and say anything and put any ad libs in, but I just want you to make reference to inherited this freedom, right? Listen to the wording and how very similar it is to 1688 in the Bill of Rights, right? This is crucial because this is still law in this country. It is recognised as a constitutional statute. It's entrenched, and it secures something, right? In fact, it secures a number of things that I want you to understand, right? From this freedom, that they should not be compelled to contribute any tax, tallage, aid, or other like charge not set by common consent in Parliament. Yet, nevertheless, of late divers commissions directed to sundry commissioners in several counties, with instructions have issued, by means whereof your people have been in divers places assembled, and required to lend certain sums of money unto your majesty, and many of them, upon their refusal so to do, have had an oath administered unto them, not warrantable by the laws or statutes of this realm, and have been constrained to become bound to make appearance and give attendance before your privy council, which is basically part of the Star Chamber, right? And in other places, and others of them have been therefore imprisoned, confined, and sundry other ways molested and disquieted, and divers other charges have been laid and levied upon your people in several counties. Musters, justices of the peace, and others, by command or direction of your majesty or your privy council, against the laws and customs of this realm. I want you to keep listening to the laws and customs as well. There's something else coming up, and you on a number of times, and you'll get what I'm talking about. Privy Council against the laws and customs of this realm. And where also the statute called the Great Charter of Liberties of England, it is declared and enacted that no free man may be taken or imprisoned or be deceased of his freeholds or liberties or his free customs, or be outlawed or exiled, or in any manner destroyed, but by the lawful judgment of his peers, or by the law of the land. And in the 8th and 20th year of the reign of King Edward III, it was declared and enacted by authority of Parliament that no man of what estate or condition that he be should be put out of his lands or tenements, nor taken, nor imprisoned, nor disherited, nor put to death without being brought to answer by due process of law, observance of due process, right? Again, on when we go, so we're doing a full day seminar at Weston-super-Mare on the 23rd of August, right? There's some other parts that we've added to it, because this one, I'm going to make sure everyone there gets this, especially people in the southwest of England, right? Because you are under attack, right? Due process of the law. Nevertheless, against the tenure of the said statutes, and provided divers of your subjects have late been imprisoned without any cause showed, and when for the deliverance they were brought before your justices by your majesty's writs of habeas corpus there to undergo and receive the court. All right. So remember what's going on with a lot of people now being sent to prison just for social media posts. All right. This is all related. It goes back to much of what we're talking about now. Should order and their keepers commanded to certify the causes of their detainer. No cause was certified, but they were detained by your majesty's special command, signified by the lords of your privy council, and yet were returned back to several prisons without being charged with anything to which they might make answer according to the law. And whereas of late great companies of soldiers, listen to this, soldiers and mariners have been dispersed into divers counties of the realm, and the inhabitants against their wills have been compelled to receive them into their houses, and there to suffer them sojourn, I think that is, against the laws and customs of this realm, and the great grievances and vexation of the people. And whereas also by authority of Parliament, in the 25th year of the reign of King Edward III, it is declared and enacted that no man shall be forejudged of life or limb against the form of the Great Charter, and that the law of the land, and by the said Great Charter, and other laws and statutes of your realm, no man ought to be adjudged to death, but by the laws established in this your realm, either by the customs of the same or by the acts of Parliament. And whereas no offender of what kind soever is exempted from the laws and statutes of this realm, this your realm, nevertheless late divers, by which certain persons have been assigned and appointed commissioners with power and authority to proceed within the land according to the justice of marital law, against which the land according to the justice of marital law, such soldiers and mariners or other dissolute persons joining with them as should commit any murder, robbery, felony, mutiny, or other outrage or misdemeanor whatsoever, and by such summary course and order as an agreeable to martial law, and used in armies in time of war, to proceed to the trial and condemnation of such offenders, and then to cause to be executed and put to death according to the law martial. By pretext whereof some of your Majesty's subjects have been by some of the said commissioners put to death, when and where, if by the laws and statutes of the land they had deserved death, by the same laws and statutes also they might, and by no other ought to have been adjudged and executed. And also sundry grievance offenders by colour thereof, claiming, let me pull that back up, claiming an exemption, have escaped the punishment due to them by the laws and statutes of this realm, by reason that divers of your officers and ministers of justice have unjustly refused or forborne to proceed against such offenders according to the same laws and statutes, upon pretense that the said offenders were punished only by martial law, and by authority of such commissions as foresaid. Right, so I want you to understand something here. This martial law, they were saying because they were soldiers, etc., they could only be punished by martial law. It's a bit like what's going on. So there's an external legal system that's been brought in, and it is having a serious effect on the people of the realm because they're not applying the law correctly as they should be, right? And it caused a massive problem at the time. It led to the Civil War, right? Which wasn't a civil war really. It was actually a war of independence from corruption of a number of different people. That's what the war was really about, all right? Upon pretense that the said offenders were punishable only by martial law and by authority of such commissions, right? Remember what it says about commissions. Listen to this carefully, because commissions and of like nature were mentioned. Not mentioned. There's an article that covers it, right? Commissions, as foresaid, which commissions and all others of like nature are highly and directly contrary to the said laws and statutes of this your realm, right? So what he is referring to there is these commissions were set up and they were not applying the law of the land, right? So think about Sharia law, in particular, Sharia law, right? And Bedin, or whatever it's called, the Jewish law. None of that's supposed to exist in England, right? They do therefore humbly pray, your most excellent majesty, that no man hereafter be compelled to make or yield any gift, loan, benevolence, tax, or such like charge without common consent of an Act of Parliament, and that none be called to make answer or take such oath, or to give attendance or be confined, or otherwise molested or disquieted concerning the same, or for refusal thereof, and no free man in any such manner as in before mentioned be imprisoned or detained, and that your majesty will be pleased to remove the said soldiers and mariners, and that your people may not be so burdened in time to come, and that the aforesaid commissions for proceeding by martial law may be revoked and annulled, and that hereafter no commissioners of like nature may issue forth to any person or persons whatsoever to be executed as aforesaid, lest by colour of them any of your majesty's subjects be destroyed or put to death contrary to the laws and franchise of this land. All which they most humbly pray of your most excellent majesty, as their rights and liberties according to the laws and statutes of this realm, and that your majesty would also vouchsafe to declare that the awards, doings, and proceedings in the prejudice of your people, remember that's in the Bill of Rights, in any of the premises shall not be drawn hereafter into consequence or example, and that your majesty would be also graciously pleased for the further comfort and safety of your people to declare your royal will and pleasure, and that in the things aforesaid all your officers and ministers shall serve you according to the laws and statutes. Laws and statutes of this realm, as they tender the honour of your majesty and the prosperity of this kingdom. Which petition being read, and the 2nd of June 1628, the king's answer was thus delivered unto it. The king willeth that right be done according to the laws and customs of the realm, and that statutes be put in due execution, that his subjects may have no cause to complain of any wrong or oppressions contrary to their just rights and liberties, to the preservation whereof he holds himself as well obliged as of his prerogative. On June the 7th, the answer was given in the accustomed form, and then it goes in and it talks about some other bits and pieces, right? So why is this so important? Well, that's the first time I've read the original of the Petition of Right. It is still, as you'll all be aware, constitutional law and a fundamental law of the land, right? So part of what this is actually talking about is the problems that they was facing coming up to what they call, in the end, was a civil war, i.e. with Cromwell. It was not a civil war, it was a war of independence from corruption, from a corrupt king, from a corrupt executive, and corrupt officers and judges, because they wasn't adhering to the law of the land, they wasn't protecting the people, and what you got was the English in particular, and we was backed by the Scots, right? So don't anyone think that I'm having a go at the Scots here, or certainly am not. They've got a claim of right at the Bill of Rights, but the issue throughout this time was the corruption and what they was doing against our actual freedoms and liberties as English men and women, right? Does everyone understand what I'm hoping you could see and understand what it is that I'm actually talking about, right? It's not rocket science. I understand that some people won't understand the significance of it, but only because you're not taught this. Right, so it's the constitutional documents of the Puritan Revolution, 1625 to 1660. Right, don't forget you're also talking about the Star Chamber. Right, and the Star Chamber was abolished. Let's go back to my main focus. So that is the book, basically, and that's the one Jason sent me. Right, so I am. Except I haven't gone through it all yet. Trust me, I'm going to be having a proper read of that. Right, and then there was another book here. This one here. That one. Because it refers to this. So the select charters. And it goes through the different charters in here. And when you read through what's, by the way, it tells you in this book all about Walden Watch. And it's basically part of your rights and customs. There's another part here that I wanted to briefly show you. That's an old one there. I won't put that out, but that was one of the old law reports that someone sent. Still got to go through some of that. So hopefully people understand what that is. Let me get back. So quite a bit going on, really. So let me get on to the next part. If you all understand, and I know that most of you do, I get it's a Friday night and it's quite warm out, etc. But you also understand how important the Petition of Right is. The Petition of Right was included in quite a bit of the Declaration of Rights, the Declaration of Reasons, and the Bill of Rights. It was also in effect safeguarding and by the Acts of Settlement of 1700. Right now, as subjects of the realm of England, it is not unusual for our king to go pear-shaped, be complicit in what's going on. In other words, they know that they think, well, nothing's going to happen to them, right? Charles I in particular didn't think anything had happened to him. Now, I'm not suggesting any form of violence, but I am suggesting that these people are not going to give this. They're not going to give it to you. They're not going to give you the country back. You're now being run by communists. There are a number of factions that have been imported into this country over at least the last 100 years, accelerated after World War II, with the aid of the Fabian Society, who are committed Marxists, right? And again, you just heard, I'll show it again if people want me to show it. Does everyone want me to show that Joe Rogan clip again? So you understand what's going on. They are trying to destroy England. It is England that is under attack, not Scotland, not Wales, not Northern Ireland. Southern Ireland's already lost. Northern Ireland technically is already lost because it has an assembly. Wales is already lost. It has an assembly, right? And Scotland is already lost. They've removed the constabularies and they've put in place an assembly, right? It doesn't have a parliament. None of these places have parliaments. That's all nonsense, right? Devolution is another name for regionalisation. That is exactly what's happened. They have succeeded with the external parts, and now they seek to destroy England with devolution. And that is the final part of the jigsaw. There is no England after that. It's gone, right? They succeeded with London, which is a region of the European Union, and everyone has to understand completely what's going on. So what I'm going to hopefully do now, as long as this one, it always goes pear-shaped. I do need to have the tidy up, which I will do shortly. Right, so I'm going to pull this back forward again. Hopefully this camera isn't moving about as I'm doing this. So I've got Miss grinning like a Cheshire cat to the left of me. Posting on thingy later. Right, so I'm going to show you this. Destroy England was always the Fabian lie about cult British movement. Exactly that. That's exactly it. And what the Scots, not all of them, the Welsh, not all of them, the Irish, not all of them, fail to understand. They have assisted. They have assisted in destroying England, and they think, for some strange reason, that's gonna help out their little nations. It's not. Someone pointed out the other day about the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was built to keep people in, right? The Soviets basically in to the Soviet Union in that arena, if you want to call it that. What they've now built is a digital prison. So you don't have to have a physical wall there, right? Bearing in mind, you didn't need a passport to leave England. As long as you was travelling to another common law jurisdiction, you showing any form of ID to go in there. If you needed it, you could show it. You didn't need a passport. Passports come from France and administrative law, right? So, and that is the law of the land, and it would have got. Let me go back to that a sec, because I'm going to show this to you again. I think it's really important. Everyone needs to retweet this as much as they absolutely can, right? Let's see if I can bring this up on your screen. There's the Andy Cabby. So I just want to share it and make sure, and then I'll show you it again at the end. But people really do need to send this out and retweet it and get people talking about what Joe Rogan's just said.
It's like someone's trying to destroy England. It's literally like they've got a concerted effort to destroy England, and they're getting away with it.
Yeah. And what happens over there?
It's really crazy. It's really crazy to watch, because the mass immigration's not an accident. If I was going to destroy a country, I would do it exactly the way they're doing it.
Yeah.
I'd take away their freedom, take away their ability to protest, take away their guns, which they did in the 90s, and then you start tightening that noose. Tighter and tighter, add more restrictions, more this, more that.
I mean, we're getting closer.
And just the arresting people. When you arrest 12,000 people for social media posts, you don't just arrest people for social media posts. You change people's ability to post about things because of fear. So they self-censor. So you don't even you're hitting them with, like, this one guy who complained about. There's a famous video where this fucking idiot in a wig. He's one of them judges, and they wear the wigs, the white powdered wigs, and he's sentencing this guy for 20 months for social media posts that are normal, like normal complaints about mass immigration of illegals from other countries that aren't assimilating and that they believe are ruining their society, which there's a real argument for. And that's what online discourse is supposed to be about, like having conversations. Like, I'm voicing my concern for the way society is running right now because of what's happening, and no one's doing anything about it, and no one's protecting anybody. It's nuts, man.
Anytime in human history that would be called an invasion.
Yeah. It's like someone's trying to destroy England.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't be more pleased to see that. So again, I want to put that out there. Try and get as many people as possible, if you're on Twitter, to repost that out. Here it is. And don't forget, what we do is go around the country teaching people about all of this. So we had some more banners turned up today, and they're the right side. I've ordered 2 other sets of frames, so we can frame this all the way out. It's not all 15, but the crucial elements that people need to understand is all there. And then what we're doing, because online is fantastic to one point, does everyone understand what's just happened as well? That Restore Britain went to do an event, and the event cancelled at the last minute. and they sold all these tickets. It's happened to us a number of times, right? You've got to get people out there booking these seminars are crucially important. People coming along to them are all different ages. The English Constitution Society is bipartisan, tripartisan, whatever you want to call it. It's not political, right? Although there is an English Constitution Party, which its manifesto is the English Constitution, right? We look after disabled people, elderly people, people about right. It's about rights, English rights, and it's about Scottish rights in effect. But I mean, Scottish people should try and find Scottish representation. Welsh people should find Welsh representation. Northern Irish people should find Northern Irish representation, but always come back. The Scots would come back to the claim of right. The English, the Welsh, and the Northern Irish should come back to the English Bill of Rights, the protections that they gave us, right? And it gave everyone. Trust me, what we did was resolve the problem we had with being controlled by an external authority, right? And it just happened to be at that time Rome, the Roman Catholics, and particularly the Jesuits, right? So again, we've got this situation happen again. The communication of going out and seeing people, we've got to get everything set up properly, which we are going to be doing going forward, and then we'll be having more conversations about what's going on. But whilst I am currently the spokesperson, right? At some stage in the future, I mean, I won't be here forever, but we need Restore Britain to start listening properly to what we're saying, because the Americans want us to talk about the English Constitution. They want us to take back England, right? And the only way we can do it is to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. What's going on there? Anyway, that's it. Any questions on this Friday evening? Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? There was a few things that have gone on that have hit my interest.
Lost track a bit because there was so much going on, wasn't there?
There's always lots going on there. Yeah. You hate being put on the spot, don't you? You sit there and go, oh, don't ask me. Right, you're the producer. Right, so the positive is, like I did, I thanked everyone earlier on. Jason for sending that wonderful book that I just done the readout from. Lewis and the other gentleman, he don't like me saying his name out, so I won't. Lewis is a bit more forthright. David Prue and Anthony, well done. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for all the assistance I'm getting from people. I will give you some updates on some other stuff later on, but not yet, because I really don't know what's going on. But we are definitely under attack. They don't like what we're doing. I do think it's really strange that my Starlink, I don't know anyone. Has anyone out there got Starlink and their Starlink has both ends have completely gone pop, right, and been zapped? Do you remember when it happened to me before? When I had a communication device and they stopped me from communicating, they pulled me wires out of the exchange and all that. And then, listen to this, I got this device. It was a comms device. You can go out. It was an aggregator of SIMs to give you a bigger channel going up onto this platform. And it worked. And it was putting out the show and all that. And then I started having a pop at Israel. And all of a sudden the whole thing went, I was like, what's going on here? And then I picked the device up and looked on the side and it said made in Israel, right? And then someone said to me after literally what just happened out in Lebanon, bearing in mind that people had pages that was blowing up in their faces, and someone went to me, you was fucking lucky that it never blew up. in my opinion. I was like, it's not good. And then both my bits of kit there went completely pear-shaped.
And there was that weird noise as well, wasn't it? That
Yeah, there was a weird noise that happened from it,
was really strange.
like it fizzled out. So anyway, just letting you know, that was the Israeli device. Yeah, the Israeli device. If we could, let's have a look. Any questions from anyone? Our day was living a fantasy. A university lapped it all up. Super delightful. Let me tell you something. What happened with that guy? That's common. We've got judges in place. We've got police in place. We've got people in senior places in the military, in the police, in the judiciary, as barristers, as solicitors, as lawyers. Right. I literally put out a tweet the other day. We're talking about our day, the black fella, youngest ever professor at Cambridge, a complete fantasist. Anyone who got a degree, that's why I said you want to shut them down. You need to shut down Oxford. You need to shut down Cambridge. You need to take everyone's degrees away from them. Anyone who's been qualified in any way whatsoever by any of them two universities needs to be pulled. And some people have said, don't you think that's collective punishment? That's exactly what's needed, but it's non-violent, and it tells every other university in the country, you want to play this game. Your university degrees are not going to be worth anything. In fact, all the qualification will be pulled, right? Because of what you've done. And I personally believe you need to do the same with Eton, right? Because if you couple Eton with Oxford, for the last, since Second World War II, 80% or 79%, if you want to be specific, of the prime ministers of this country have come from Oxford. And it is since World War II that this country has gone down a pan in a big way. It happened well. It was started well before then. It started from the 1911 Parliament Act. It started before then with a couple of things which I've been going through on various shows. So everyone needs to understand. So what happens is working people like us, normal everyday people, that read law, that research, that read old books, that actually do real research, real work, if you want to call it real PhDs, right? We're looking at it and because we're working class and haven't done their stuck up nonsense, I don't know where that come from. There's a little fly in here, it's annoying, man. And then when you try and tell them, even Restore Britain currently, because you're working class and ain't got a degree, they won't listen to you, right? Even the youngsters, I mean, bearing in mind I was on my first anti-immigration march in London when I was 16 years old, right? I'm 62. Nothing's changed. In fact, it's got worse. And they haven't listened to us at all, right? All they've done is turn the state against us. People out there supporting Farage, he's already said he's done more than anyone else to destroy the far right. What is the far right? Right. So when you look at Scotland, there's been some successes in Scotland by Restore Britain. Right. They've got something like 10,000 members. Fantastic. Right. You'd have 50,000 members if you were national conservatives, not national socialists, because that's what the SNP are. And the SNP are the biggest group over there. If you was national conservatives instead of national socialism, and you actually said, we want a brotherhood of nations, not a union, let me tell you something now, the support in Scotland would go through the roof. The support in Wales would go through the roof. The support in England would absolutely be stratospherical. It would be literally, it would be like someone has attached an anti-gravitational device to Restore Britain. And all you're doing is restoring conservatism, right? That's all people really want. Let's go back to a small state. Let's go back to earning a pound note without being regulated so far that you can't even walk out your house without someone saying something to you, right? And that's what we got to keep doing. Why? What's in Gloucester? Why is anyone saying anyone going from Gloucester? Going to where from Gloucester? I don't know what the question is. Dunk millionaire shutting down business for costs. Wouldn't I call for personal rule in return? As I currently sit here, I would honestly say we had more freedoms and liberties secured to us by Cromwell in the interregnum, and it's all been taken away by, in effect, the last 3-4 monarchs, including Queen Victoria, by the way. Sharp money. Apparently, Arde has been found dead. Is that true or false? Can anyone confirm that? Can anyone confirm that? Let me. If I would be highly suspicious about any of that. Let me have a look. Oh, God blimey. I've got to say this. Jason Arde, former Cambridge University professor, found dead after resigning following plagiarism row Friday the 14th of August. So the first thing I'll say to anyone, anyone who commits suicide, whilst I understand the pain and the pain that his family is going through, there's a bit more to this, I think, than what's actually being said on this screen. I've got to be honest with you. A former University of Cambridge professor who resigned following accusations of plagiarism has been found dead. Jason Arde was found unresponsive and addressed in Battersea in London on Friday afternoon. The 41-year-old, who became Cambridge's youngest black professor in 2023, resigned as a professor of sociology of education last week. It followed a series of reports alleging he plagiarised his PhD thesis at Liverpool John Moores University. Other claims also came under scrutiny, including that he ran 600 miles in 6 days and raised millions for charity. The spokesman for the Metropolitan Police said, sadly, a 41-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene. His next of kin have been informed and they are supporting and that they are being supported. At this time, his death is being treated as unexpected but not believed to be suspicious. According to a Cambridge biography, Arde was diagnosed with a form of autism spectrum disorder that meant he was unable to speak until 11 or to read or write until he was 18. But some people who said they attended school with him also questioned those claims, telling media he was often quiet but not mute. Mr. Arde went to school, trained as a teacher, and then went to college, trained as a teacher, and then started an academic career that saw him get Cambridge job 3 years ago. Resigning last week, he wrote to colleagues, while criticism is an inevitable part of academic life, what I've experienced has gone far beyond scholarly disagreement, right? The relentless accusations, right, okay, so even in death, I would consider that if that is part of what he said, I'm not being I don't want to be too heartless here. one of the things that I noted about him was everything that had gone in his path life and what he was doing was known as dark personality or extreme narcissism, right? It's a persona. That's all it is. And one thing that a narcissist can't accept, right, is you opening and showing their persona to people, their full deceit of who they really are. They can't handle it, right? And that's when they get really vicious. But again, I just want to know, you've got to be compost mentis to take your own life. Sound mind capable of taking serious decisions. Just to make sure everyone's aware of this, in terms of suicide, it is what's the word I'm looking for? It's gone right out of my head. It's I understand people. I mean, there's some people, even, and I'm not going to say it on the show. Even recently, I was talking to someone on the phone, someone who's sort of connected to it with the show. I didn't understand that they suffered from severe depression. And I'm not, anyone who knows this in the background, do not put it on the chat. But that person committed suicide. It wasn't that long ago. So what's the word I'm looking for that I normally use in relation to decision making? I think my brain's gone. There you go, anyway. Yeah. Sorry, I asked because you sounded like you were closing. There you go. Anyway, I'm off. I am now going. Good night, God bless. Don't forget to everyone out there. The Constitution is the solution. I believe we are winning. You've got people like Joe Rogan telling people that England is under attack, that they are seeking to destroy England, right? So keep with it. We've got to somehow increase our awareness of what we do as the English Constitution Society out there. If you want me out there, find those groups, find them people. Don't forget, it's got to be financed. I'm not talking about mega money. We're applying for grants, etc., setting up in a slightly different way. It's purely educational and pushing to say England needs to stand up now, and the people of England need to stand up. So I would now say good night, God bless to everyone. Stay safe. Keep your chin up. I do believe we're winning. That's it. Au revoir, tiddly poo, and all that. Let me see if I can find one more thing to close out on. That thing keeps flying in front of me. It's because we've had. They look like fruit flies. Is there still fruit in there?
No.
Is it all gone?
Yeah, it's all gone.
How are you, Bob?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you getting? Hang on a minute. Are you getting withdrawal symptoms from the washing? Do you think? Hang on a minute. I'm going to put this on this. I'm going to say good night, God bless. If I can bring that back over, let's see what happens.
sit there in your shirt and tie, boldly dictating. A crooked smile while you fed us lies, you didn't trust your own persuading. You sought to slay and to keep at bay the few good men that warned. Well, the dawn is nigh, look to the sky, beware of an England scorned. Father, I, the riddle I die, for the riddle I. You were bought with coin and you played your part and you're left to rue the day. You smite the ways of our hallowed land and ignore the plight of our people, while you grease the stranger's outstretched hand and shout that all are equal. There'll be bitter cries for your deeds and lies when Wirral sounds the horn. And the Norns will glide through English sky and you'll reap an England scorned. Father, I, the riddle I die, for the riddle I. You were bought with coin and you played your part and you'll live to rue the day. To me, Father, I, the riddle I die, hark to the sounded horn. When freedom cries fill English skies, you'll wish you'd never been born. Father, I, the riddle I die, for the riddle I. You were bought with coin and you played your part and you'll live to rue the day. To me, Father, I, the riddle I die, hark to the sounded horn. When freedom cries fill English skies, you'll wish you'd never been born.
Don't wanna gripe and I don't wanna whinge, but look at the state that the bleeding country's in. I'm working all the hours, I'm doing all I can to share all me money with the bleeding tax man. paying the government is driving me insane. You might as well take the money and throw it down the drain. People come to England holding out their hands, and the government give our cash away. I don't understand. Now what about the old soldier who can't afford a dinner? What about the old people freezing in the winter? More and more children living in poverty, and the government give our cash away. It don't make sense to me.
Gandalf,
Put him in charge of the nation.
Gandalf,
He'll fix immigration.
Gandalf,
He'll put us back on track. Send him down to Dover to send the buggers back.
Gandalf,
Put him in charge of the nation.
Gandalf,
He'll fix immigration.
Gandalf,
Oh, it'll be a famous day. We'll stick him on the cliffs at Dover and let the old sod say.
You shall not pass!
Call me a bigot. You can say I take the mick. The fools call me a racist, but I don't give a shit. Taking care of British people's got to be right, and it makes no difference to me if you're black or you're white. Political correctness, I just don't understand. It's almost destroyed this green and pleasant land. This country is governed by a bunch of weak fools. We need a politician with a proper pair of balls. Cause what about the bloke who's lost his job and his home? What about the cancer patient dying all alone? You can say I'm wrong, you can say I'm right, but when was the last time you see a politician go on strike?
Gandalf,
Put him in charge of the nation.
Gandalf,
He'll fix immigration.
Gandalf,
He'll put us back on track. Send him down to Dover to send the buggers back.
Gandalf,
Put him in charge of the nation.
Gandalf,
He'll fix immigration.
Gandalf,
Oh, it'll be a famous day. We'll stick him on the cliffs at Dover and let the old sod say.
you shall not pass!
Put him in charge of the nation. He'll fix immigration. He'll put us back on track. Send him down to Dover to send the buggers back.
Three months ago, a large extended Roma family moved into a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house on this quiet estate.
I live next door to 21 of them, and they were noisy, really noisy, and urinating out in the streets, throwing their rubbish in my bin, and throwing the rubbish over in my gardens.
They come and do their 1 and 2s. They don't give a damn, because Sue stopped one of them, and he turned around and said, well, I needed to go, so I went. Which is unhygienic, spreads disease.
Slough's spent £175,000 so far this year on a special Roma unit. That cash comes from existing funds, meaning cuts elsewhere. The crime rate's also up 12% across Slough.
It's been 25 years or more I've roamed this land from shore to shore, from Tyne to Tamar, 7 to 10s, from moor to vale, from peak to fen, played in cafes and pubs and bars. I've stood in the street with my old guitar, but I'd be richer than all the rest if I had £1 for each request. With Julian banjos, American pie, it's enough to make you cry. Rule Britannia, or swing low? Are they the only songs we English know? Seed, bud, flower, fruit, they're never gonna grow without their roots. Branch, stem, shoots, they need roots. All the way goes after the speeches, when the cake's been cut, the disco's over and the bar is shut. At christening, birthday, wedding or wake, what can we sing until the morning breaks? When the Indian, Asian, Afro Celts, it's in their blood below the belt. They're playing and dancing all night long. So what have they got right that we've got wrong? Seed, bud, flower, fruit, never gonna grow without their roots. Branch, stem, shell, we need a roots and all the neighbors let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England, all the neighbors let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England, we need a roots. And the minister said his vision of hell is 3 folk singers in a pub near Wells. Well, I've got a vision of urban sprawl. It's pubs where no one ever sings at all, and everyone stares at a great big screen. Overpaid soccer stars, prancing teams, Australian soap, American rap, there's 3 English baseball caps. And we're not gonna be ashamed before we walk of the way we look, of the way we talk. Without our stories or our songs, how will we know where we come from? I've lost St. George in the Union Jack. That's my flag too, and I want it back. Seed, bud, flower, fruit, never gonna grow without their roots. Branch, stem, shell, we need roots and all the way, boys, let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England, all the way, boys, let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England, all the way, boys, let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England, all the way, boys, let them go. Out in the wind and the rain and snow, we've lost more than we'll ever know. On the rocky shores of England.
As is a nation, it's one nation of old, a land built by heroes, their stories we've been told, built upon a history of toil, sweat and tears, a Christian land of over 1,000 years. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call. Land's end to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. This is the land of the free, where the white cliffs meet the sea. 1,000 years of kings and queens, Oxford and Cambridge English law, Charles Dickens and Bobby Moore, Drake and Nelson sailing the seven seas. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call, from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. I see the Downs and the Yorkshire Dales, the New Forest and the Lakeland Fells, and there I hear Wainwright calling me. Now every Englishman he knows the greatest beauty be an English rose, and within this land my spirit will ever be. But listen to me, people, these words you can't ignore. Today England needs her sons and her daughters like never before. Feel the pride, hear the call, from Land's End to Adrian's Wall. This is England, the land of St. George. England, oh England, every woman, every man. What became of Jerusalem in this green and pleasant land? I won't run, I'll never hide, they'll always see my English pride. This is England, the land of St. George. This is England, the land of St. George.